Hello, welcome back to a conversation with Mr. Calvert. Today, I'm joined with Mr. Calvert here at Randall Reed Stadium. Mr. Calvert, how are you doing today?
Great, Emily. How you doing?
Really good. So excited to graduate. Looking forward to tonight.
Oh yeah, the stage is right behind us, so
Yep.
It's exciting time. So
Yes.
Congratulations on that accomplishment.
Yep, I'm super excited. So even as we're talking about graduation, I know the whole goal of any school district or school system is to produce students who are ready and equipped to face all the challenges that the world is going to throw at them. So can you talk a little bit about the student-centered programs and just what that term really means in New Caney ISD?
Sure, absolutely. Student-centered, it sounds simple, but sometimes it's difficult to accomplish. Adults in education, sometimes we like to do things that honestly aren't what's best for kids and kind of make it easy on us.
Yeah.
And so it really takes a lot of effort to put student-centered programs out there, because at the end of the day, it's all about y'all's experiences to prepare you when you leave us, to give you a great education while you're here. And so there's really a lot of intentionality of the programs we put out there for kids. We listen to our students, like course selection sheets, that kind of stuff. What are your interests? We want you to have the best experience possible, and it also prepared you for your world outside of New Caney ISD.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before a little bit, but New Caney ISD is growing so quickly. We see with the growth in Valley Ranch and the new high school that's coming up, it's just growing so fast and super exciting things coming along. But how does the district balance all the opportunities that growth produces, but then also maintaining a small school atmosphere where students can still get personal and get involved?
Oh, it is definitely a balancing act for sure. One thing that our district's committed to and our board's committed to is keeping our high schools, like Westport coming next year, at that 5A level. 5A, I know that's an athletics UIL term, but typically what that means is like 2,000 kids.
Yeah.
And so around that number, you get the benefits of the bigger school environment, the varied experiences, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But yet it's still small enough where you don't feel like you're just a number in a class.
Right.
You have that relationship, that connection with your teachers, while you have lots of opportunities to explore whatever interest you may have out there. So it is a balance of, the efficiencies that come with larger buildings, but keeping it small and keeping it personal, because it's all about those relationships. So there's definitely a sweet spot there.
Yeah.
And we're blessed to live in a community that sees that and treasures that and helps us out with that aspect of the growth.
Yeah, definitely finding that sweet spot. Like you said, it's so important to not get so focused on the growth and get too big where you're not willing to just sit down and have a conversation with your teacher. That's such a sweet thing. So we know that with growth and all of this, we have to have a way that we can measure student success, student growth, and test scores are often important that are used for that. But what are some other ways that the district measures student success?
Well, you're right. There has to be some accountability there, something to say, okay, what did you learn this year?
Yeah.
And so you're right. Test scores is just one part of that, but there's a lot of other things we have going on, like we just, you've experienced it, scholarships that our seniors get, our dual credit programs, our AP programs, all those other recognitions, just even back to AB honor roll that an elementary kid might have got, this week as a reward. So yeah, test scores are important, and they're an important window to the outside world as far as how we're doing.
Yeah.
But internally, we're doing a lot of things that show that our kids are successful, that our teachers do a great job, and our district really sets kids up for success outside of New Caney ISD.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I think just even recognizing that success is more than a test score. Like, you have so many students, and I know a lot of my friends that are some of the brightest, most amazing students that are going to do amazing things, and they might not have gotten the best score on their ACT or whatever, but they're still going to make a huge impact. And that's
Exactly. And we just have to celebrate those small successes, because I believe that success is different for every student.
Yeah.
And so, just recognizing that, celebrating that, making them feel like they've accomplished something, it's very important. And so, yes, we do try to recognize any and all successes, no matter what shape or form they come in for any student.
Yeah, that's so important.
So I'm going to flip the script on you today, Emily. So talking about successful students, I think it's fair to say you're definitely one of the most successful students coming out of Porter High School and the district in general. So talk to me about Porter High School. What's been your favorite class while you've been at Porter?
Man, I feel like that's such a loaded question because, like you said, the Porter High School did an amazing job of keeping it small, and I had so many teachers that invested in me and poured into my life that I will be forever grateful for. One class that I continually comes to mind, I probably have two, but I'd say Mr. Fortenberry's history class was by far just a transformational class. He really challenged us to view history in a way that was personal, that he challenged us to think critically, to not just tell us all this information, but really challenging us how to think. I loved that class. And then also our student leadership class, that was the one where I got really involved. It was a smaller setting, so only like 5 to 10 students, but we were able to learn about what it looks like to be a student leader on campus. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, that's really cool, because those are some skills that you'll definitely take with you through life, not just in academics, but just any situation. That's great. So I know you were involved in some extracurriculars at Porter High School. So talk to us about the importance of being involved in other things at school rather than just, your core subjects. Talk to us about how important those extracurriculars have been with your career as a Spartan.
Yeah, they have been absolutely crucial. Just for the past 4 years, I've been involved in volleyball, basketball, student council, NHS, FCA, all of these things. And the goal when I went into high school, I knew that there was going to be an opportunity to get involved in extracurriculars. And in that moment, it was like, I don't want to be just I just do academics or I'm just in volleyball, but really creating a well-rounded, learning from different types of people, getting involved in all of those things. So that has been super important, and just the lessons that sports alone teach are, I'm sure you've played sports, and all of the things that teaches, whether that be teamwork, leadership, communication, kindness, compassion, all of those things are taught in getting involved outside of the classroom. And yeah.
Well, and that's very important, because academics is number one, but if we want to produce well-rounded graduates, then all those other things to build onto that, the character and work ethic and all those things that you just talked about. So you're about to walk across this stage really, really soon. So go back to walking into Porter High School. What's those one or two things that you would go back and tell yourself as a freshman today? What's some advice that you would give yourself, or really any freshman about to walk into Porter High School or any of our high schools?
Yeah, man, I think that's such a loaded question again. I think if I were to look back and tell my freshman self one thing, it'd be to not worry about what other people say about you. Maybe you can get super stressed, super overwhelmed with thinking I need to be involved in all of these things, or and now as I'm looking back on graduation, I'm like, I worried about things that were so small, so minor in the grand scheme of all of your life. And I've talked to older people, younger people, and just when I'm 50 years old, I'm not going to worry about my bio class, but it's still like stewarding those things and doing all of the things for the glory of God. And that's what I'd say is to take a deep breath when you feel overwhelmed, and
Well, good. Yeah, the don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Pick your battles kind of thing. Well, I just want to tell you thank you for joining us in these conversations. It's been a pleasure to get to talk about things in our district. Get to know one of our great students, and just best of luck in your next step in life. And we're looking forward to all those great things we're going to continue to hear about you and all your moves in the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Calvert. It's been an honor, even for me, to just sit down with you, a top dog, you might say, coming down and speaking to a student that has such an influence and makes that big district seem really small. So, and I hope everyone watching this has enjoyed all of these conversations. I know for us, it's been such a sweet moment. So we hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.